Little nudge. Half the clergy boycotted the coronation. No one wanted the trust fund terrorists to lead. Not the clerics, not the old guard, not even his own dad before we blew him up. Apparently, he put in his will, do not let my son take my place. But Mini Khamenei had a side hustle. He's sitting on a global property empire, Persian Gulf shipping, Swiss bank accounts, Frankfurt to Mallorca, a villa in the Beverly Hills of Dubai. Estimates say he's funneled billions of dollars into the West, all while under sanction. Passing power from father to son doesn't look strong. It means Iran's bench is empty. It's no longer a theocracy. It's your run-of-the-mill corrupt Muslim dictatorship. And it means they're really scared. Little Ayatollah hasn't even shown his face yet. No video, no pictures, not even a statement. At the official ceremony, they pledged allegiance to a picture frame. Where is he? Is he even alive?
On the new leader of Iran, there's reports that he's been wounded.
Oh, the new leader of Iran. He would be wise to, that's not something I can comment on right now.
How can you rule a country when you can't even show your face? Doesn't the wartime Ayatollah need to show proof of life? If he's strong and capable and the Iranian regime hasn't collapsed, where is he? Rumors are swirling that he's been injured, but we can't confirm. We can confirm that he has a target on his back. The Israelis are going to put the whole Iranian hierarchy in the kill chain until a new leader can play ball. As far as Donald Trump's concerned, he's been clear. A lunatic hardliner is unacceptable.
Overnight, I spoke with President Trump. We spoke about Operation Epic Fury, how it's going, and his thoughts on Mojtaba Khamenei, Iran's next supreme leader. He told me he's not happy with that selection, adding, I don't believe he can.
Well, certainly he's trying to move from place to place. He probably doesn't sleep in the same place more than once because of the exceptional intelligence that our Israeli allies have. And to your point, he is a double betrayal of the 1979 Islamic Revolution. He was not even trained well enough to be an Ayatollah. He's only a mid-range cleric, number one. And number two, as you pointed out, dynastic succession. He's a nepo baby. So that's a double betrayal of the whole concept of the 1979 revolution. All you have now, Jesse, is the equivalent of a mafia family, very corrupt, with a little bit of a patina of religion over it.
So what does that tell you about the shape of the regime or what's left of it?
Persian Empire. You have 7 ethnic groups, of which the Persians are less than 50%. These are things like the Kurds and the Azeris. And so I think it's very interesting that the president, essentially the figurehead president, Masoud Pezeshkian, speaks, I think, about 4 or 5 languages. He's actually, I think, part Azeri. He condemned the crackdown that Mojtaba led. And so he apologized. Now, of course, you're not seeing him because he has no real power. But it makes me wonder whether or not there might be people to deal with that might be able to get an off-ramp here. The other thing to consider is if this guy is so weak and so corrupt and wasn't even truly in line to be the next boss.
That's a good point. Also wondering the fact that he accumulated so much wealth overseas must mean he's a businessman, and he kind of did it on the sly, evading sanctions, so he's wily. Does that mean he's someone we can deal with, or is he just out for blood since we slaughtered his whole family?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, right? If you have this gigantic nest egg of billions of dollars, but you lost your wife and children in the initial airstrike, probably you're going to be out for blood, as you say. The challenge is, who does he have as allies? You know, he served in the Revolutionary Guard Corps during the Iran-Iraq War. So he does have some experience at warfare, and that is really of the Revolutionary Guard Corps. But you have the Basij Corps, you have police, and so there are multiple factions within modern Iran, and it's really unclear at this point where their loyalties lay.
And you can't decimate all these guys with guns. There's militias, there's the IRGC, there's the regular army, there's all sorts of people with guns. Hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million of them. How do you go from that to something that, you know, we could have a regular diplomatic relationship with?
Well, I should think that the Army is probably the best place to start, and some of your regional leaders. For example, just yesterday, I think I saw allegiance to the son of the former Shah. and wanting to maintain an intact Iran and warning against any neighbors trying to slice away pieces of Iran. And so I don't know how much real power they have. It's very difficult to peer behind the curtain and to understand just how strong the dissension is. Clearly, it was strong enough to have some 30,000 plus people murdered by the regime last month. So we know that there's unrest. We just don't know how organized it can be. And let me lastly give a shout out to Elon Musk. You know, it's his Starlink terminals that have allowed for the opposition to communicate and to communicate with the outside world. If it wasn't for Starlink, not only would the inside opposition be terribly disorganized and disheartened, giving us some true news.
Right. Well, they're brave journalists, but you know, I don't want to say anything bad about them while they're in a war zone. But I'm sure Elon's going to get glowing press about all he's been doing, and never. Chuck, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Breaking news on Jeffrey Epstein. Straight ahead.